as we continue to watch the events unfolding before us, it's very important to step back and look at everything with a biblical perspective, like I'm always saying. I'm taking things that are going on in the current times, and then I also take things that I put in some of these videos and I mix it in with things that were said years ago. You know, this is not new. There's a lot of people, this may be new to you. All of this information, all of this whole world may be opening up to you just now. But there's a lot of us that have been following this for many years. So I want to take a minute to note a few awesome channels and a few sources of truth and freedom, people that are fighting, that have been deplatformed, people that are under assault, under attack. Dan Bongino, the Hagman Report. I want to give a big shout out to Nicholson, 1968. This guy has been saying stuff for years, and he's been spot on in so many ways. I've been following him for a very long time. And again, like Bongino and Hagman, you can find them on Rumble. They have their own websites. But there's a lot of information here that we're going to get into in this video. And I just really want you, I know they're long. I know there's a lot of stuff here. But this whole thing that we're seeing across the world is so much deeper than it appears. It really, truly is. And in my opinion, it's just a sign that we're in the end times, and it's a sign of biblical prophecy being fulfilled, and you're seeing everything come into place for the one world government, the one world system of control, and of complete totalitarian regime type of system that will control everything and everyone. It's very scary stuff, and it's a slippery slope, man. Some of this stuff that's going on, you got to really think about it. People are so brainwashed and so docile, it blows my mind. This is deep. This is a spiritual battle over freedom and over salvation. I also personally think what we've seen is nothing compared to what's to come. You know, so like I've said before, this channel is just a place for me to share my thoughts of things that I come across. I'm a type of person who I question everything. I really feel that critical thinking is very, very important, and everybody should learn to really deeply question and evaluate everything and really seek answers and truth. And I just want to say this, that in a time where you see people stating basically you don't have a right to a different opinion, and platforms are deplatforming people and banning people and censoring people, that's what it is, it's censorship. For simply having questions they want to answer, for simply having a different opinion, you have to really take a step back and ask the deeper question. Why are you so determined to keep people thinking one way and not let them think openly and freely? Why do you not want voices having an ability to have open discussions with people? You really need to ask these hard questions and look at this stuff. You know, people like Alex Jones, even though he's a little crazy, he's been spot on about a lot of stuff. People like Steve Quayle and Dr. Stephen Greer. Why are these people, amongst many, many others, who were attacked and said that they're crazy, and now you see stuff that they've been talking about years ago, mainstream, like right in your face. It's right out there. You can find information. It's all true. It's either completely true or it's some way, some shape or form holds some kind of merit to it. I'm just saying. It's very interesting.
Artificial intelligence area, the power of computers obviously are continuing to accelerate. Their size, their energy and costs are diminishing, and the facility of the hardware continues to accelerate. Both the hardware and the software are making gigantic leaps week by week as we go. And the singularity I tried to explain, that's a term that is associated with Ray Kurzweil. But that's when the computational intelligence exceeds that of the human mind. That's the target. Now you say, well, what's wrong with that? You have to understand what their admitted ultimate goal is. Because if you can take your intelligence and transfer it into that environment, you've achieved immortality. It's a path to immortality and to exchange consciousness between bodies, synthetic or otherwise. And the fact that this could at least conceivably lead to a path toward immortality can give you a glimpse of what kind of theology these people share, or lack thereof, if you will. Ray Kurzweil's concept of this consciousness not only will be able to be translated into a machine, you can combine consciousness. If you collectivize the consciousness, at the end of a documentary on his life, they asked him, "Do you believe there's a God?" And his answer was very simple. He says, "Not yet." That's really the goal that they think they're on. Now, see, the real problem is the real you. See, I can't see you. I'm standing up on stage. I can see the package you are in. You see, the real you, call it soul, spirit, conscience, whatever, you are temporary resident in a disposable hardware environment. Why shouldn't it be transferable to an alternate, perhaps advantageous environment, even a machine-enhanced environment? The day will be coming when they can create an environment that may be more hospitable than your own body, at least in their mind. So what would limit a continuing path to subsequent upgrades? I'm ready for an upgrade. I don't plan to look to them for that upgrade, by the way. Let me hasten to add that. So there's some coming nightmares coming. The real behind the scenes, something I haven't focused on, but I want to before we're through, is talk about super soldiers armed with ultimate weapons. There is an arms race going on. It's very hidden, but very real, between all the development countries. China, Russia, and the U.S., probably places in Europe, are going in this direction in the hopes of being able to field the super soldier. That could be a game changer in the pattern of nations. Networked super soldiers with unlimited mind controls, can you imagine? Unenforced lawlessness among a privileged few is part of the scenario here. Consciousness exchanges offering a form of immortality, collective consciousness ushering in a utopian collective, or the ultimate nightmare. That's what's on the horizon. This is not decades away. These are just a matter of years in the minds of the practitioners.
I've been saying forever, repeatedly that I never, ever, ever, ever would consider running for office again. But I'm dead serious when I say this. That would be my number one issue. Stopping this big tech war on this country going on right now. They're engaged in FEC violations, FTC violations, violations of interstate commerce, violations of the First Amendment. And folks, they're hypocrites and they're frauds too. You want to see what I'm talking about? Here's a really good article, Washington Examiner by Tiana Lowe, January 31st, 2022. She asked the question, hey, Spotify, you guys really want to get into this cancel Joe Rogan game? Are you sure? Because if we're going to cancel Joe Rogan for having interesting people on who have different ideas about COVID and masking and the efficacy of vaccines, what we used to call dialogue in this country, if we're going to censor Joe Rogan for that, then what about censoring other people? Like people who've been accused of child molestation and sex trafficking? What? Wait. No, yeah, that's real. You know what? Let me get to that after the break, because this is important here. Spotify wants to censor a conversation about vaccines and masking, but all of a sudden when it comes to the abuse of children and serious allegations of trafficking and stuff like that, they don't want to deal with that at all? See what happens when you play this censorship game? Left never stops. They're always looking for new targets. You got to pick a side and do it now. So again, these are serious questions. So Spotify is going to get in the censorship game, as Tina Lowe asked. And you can read this piece in my newsletter, Bongino.com/newsletter. Please subscribe to my newsletter. It's free. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to talk to you on other platforms, so it's important. She says, now ask yourself, is Joe Rogan basically worse than child molestation and sex trafficking? What about openly celebrating the said rape of minors? Because people who have done all those things are being platformed and profiting from Spotify to this day. The music of artists convicted and charged with various sexual abuse charges against minors, such as R. Kelly and XXXTentacion, I don't know who that is, remain on the platform on Spotify and thus generate royalties. There are too many musicians guilty of slightly lesser criminal offenses to count. So just to be clear, Spotify was getting ready to fold on Rogan. I guarantee it. You want to get in the censorship game? You're going to allow a lot of these rap songs on there that demean, talk about women using the B word, dropping N-bombs left and right, talking about people who've been convicted of horrible sex crimes against kids. You want them on the platform? Fair question, is it not? Tiana Lowe goes on, brings up another interesting point. Criminal violence is also glorified and encouraged in songs touted by Spotify. Here's a fun little bit from a song called Hey Mr. Mister about beating up a woman, which Spotify curated on its playlist for rapper Cool G Rap. Joe, you a big Cool G Rap guy?
No. Not really, Dan. No.
Not really. Yeah, me, Gee? Yeah, heard of it? Never. Yeah, Gee, he's like, Cool G Rap. Yeah, I have no idea who this guy is. Here, I have to be careful what I read here. Here's Cool G Rap. This is on Spotify, curated on their playlist. It rhymes with itch. Itch, why you lying? Itch, you've been cheating. Now I've got to give your mother effing A-word a beating. I punched her in the rib cage and kicked her in the stomach. Take off all my mother effing jewelry. Itch running. I stomped her and I kicked her and I punched her in the face. End quote. Oh my gosh. That's on Spotify. See what happens when you get in the censorship game? You see? Why isn't the left calling out Cool G Rap? Is Taylor Swift and the rest of these wokeitarians out there who are being pressured to comment on the Joe Rogan situation? What about India Ari and Mary Trump and Neil Young, rocking in the free world guy? Is he going to call for this song to be pulled down? See what happens when you get in the censorship game and why I'm not in the censorship game? You want to listen to Cool G Rap? You go right ahead. Candidly, I'm disgusted by this buffoon, and the people who talk like this, in my experience, are the biggest wussbag cowards on planet Earth, but that's a whole other story. But I don't believe in censorship. That's your thing. Here's another one, be in my newsletter today as well. New York Post article by Phil Mushnick. You know who's performing at the Super Bowl this year at halftime? Yeah, Snoop Dogg. So he notes some lyrics from Snoop Dogg. Keep in mind, we're getting ready to bury Officer Mora today in New York City, another hero assassinated by a cowardly thug in New York City. He's going to be buried today, and there's going to be a funeral at St. Patrick's Cathedral. So this is Snoop Dogg, right in the middle of police being gunned down in the streets. Here's one of his songs. Now, a Mushnick notes, this guy's performing at the Super Bowl. It's a song with Snoop Dogg and J5 Slap. It's entitled Police Ready Roger. Okay, here's the song. All you N-words out there, take your guns that you using to shoot each other and start shooting these B-word ass mother effing police. That'll impress a mother effing N-word like me. He wants to know if that's inciting violence. No, not by the left standards. No, not at all. However, when we call out the cat lady for ruthless attacks on Tim Pool, who then is later swatted, and we suggest, you know what, by your rules, not ours, that would be inciting violence. We're inciting violence by calling out the inciting of violence. Really weird. But the actual incitement of violence, that'll impress a mother effing N-word like me, suggesting shooting the B-ass mother effing police, definitely not inciting violence there.
So it's interesting then to watch the development of Suleiman Soylu, because he is eventually, we think, going to take over the running of Turkey. And his attitudes and his policies are going to definitely make a strong tie with Israel. Now, in slide 57, you can click on and read the article in a minute, but it shows that he is already so powerful. He's taken over a number of jobs, like he's providing 3,250 security officers for the World Cup to Qatar in the Persian Gulf region. And, this is going to be in November, December of this year, but he's already moving equipment and personnel over to Qatar to provide security for, the World Cup games there. So, that's a big responsibility and spending a lot of dollars. So you can see already he has a responsibility for a lot of this. And as everyone gets ill or dies or whatever, you can bet he's putting his blessings on Suleiman to take over. slide 53, you'll see Turkey is possibly reconciling themselves with Israel. As I told you, they were at odds. And 2 or 3 years ago, I told you a couple of the press over there in the TV world in Turkey said that they were willing to, they'd like to see Israel become, very close relations with Turkey, and that they would like for Israel to build the third temple, Solomon's temple, again, on the Temple Mount up in the northern part where it's just trees and, bushes and things. So they're supporting, rebuilding the third temple. Well, Erdogan wasn't doing that for whatever reasons. He was still being stiff about being that close to Israel. But this article says that they are getting closer to an agreement and open trade with Israel. So it's a thing again, pointing us to fulfillment of the global government and fulfillment of prophecy.
Oh, yeah. So I'm starting to follow your cast of characters, your suspects, pretty close. Yeah. Again, it's just, wow.
And it may not be any of these that I've discussed on my slide 13 about potential antichrist and false prophets. It may be none of them. Sure. And the arrival of our quote unquote elder brothers, the satanic invasion and flying saucers that look to be friendly, they may appoint some, guy that we've never heard of. And they may say they've grown him in a lab. I don't know, but that could be somebody that no one would know who he is until, of course, he's announced and revealed. And as I read the scripture, the rapture of the church will occur before that time, because they will, or just as he's revealed, because they will not have seen him revealed. As Paul said to the Thessalonians, don't panic if he's not been revealed yet. You haven't been left behind. So whatever that means, I don't think we're going to have long if we do see the Antichrist ourselves and we're part of the bride. We won't be here to see his action from here anyway. But the Israelis have been firing missiles occasionally at nuclear facilities over in Iran and in Syria that are Iranian based. And of course, they've been accused of all kinds of naughty things, but they've been trying to protect themselves because Iran has stated that they want to attack Israel, and they've got footholds with Hezbollah there in Syria, just northeast of Damascus in the mountains there, and other places, I'm sure. But slide 58 is an article about Israel bombarding positions around Damascus. And that was at dawn yesterday. And Israel launched an air bombardment targeting points around Damascus, while the Syrian observatory said that the targeted sites around the city contain warehouses belonging to Lebanese Hezbollah. Who knows? I mean, is Iran using, or is it, just Hezbollah? And so I read the article, and you've got it up there. And it says that the missiles, the Israeli missiles fired by the Israeli army, came from a direction near Riyadh in Lebanon. So if you click on the slide in slide 59, right next to that, and zoom it up, you're going to see what they're talking about there. You see Damascus, and if you scroll up, you see Lebanon, you see Riyadh, and Israeli army missiles. Now, why is this interesting? If you get that up there, Eric, can you click that picture up? Testing 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
Over there. Okay, there we go. Okay, now, I guess you've clicked on the red line there. Yeah. Okay, there's Lebanon on the left. And if you just move the screen down just a bit, you'll see there's Damascus. And over at the left is, I guess further down is Israel. I just want to show you where it was. Down toward the bottom of the picture, a little bit further down, you'll see northern Israel. You'll see the Sea of Galilee and the Golan Heights. Well, now, this is Israel's territory in this yellow line, and then the orange border that's disputed down along there. Why does the missile attack, going back up to the top of the screen, why does the Israeli army missile attack come from Riyadh in Lebanon? I didn't get the memo. Did Israel invade, Lebanon? They're either in Lebanon or they're in Syria. They're inside the Syrian border somewhere. But that's what the report said. And I went to the detail of this because it said all around Damascus. Well, the target was that, if you look, it's up at the right there. It's like, 30, 40 miles kind of northeast of Damascus. It's not in the Damascus suburbs. So when they say all around, I'm not sure where the other missiles might have gone. They didn't report that. But what they did say says up there and not on Damascus. If they had some that actually fell around northeast Damascus, if you look at Damascus down there in that kind of dark green growth area there, if they fell in that area from wherever they're launched, you run the risk of seeing the missiles hit Damascus. Now, I don't think this is the event yet, but it shows you that when you fire missiles in toward the Hezbollah and the Iranian presence there around Damascus, you could hit Damascus either by accident or on purpose. This just kind of accents the activity over that they may make Damascus a ruinous heap overnight, a nuclear attack. And that's not Iran. That's just Damascus. That's Iran's playground over there for they're hiding their missiles and stuff, and they've got their own nuclear facilities in Iran, but that's where they launch from. And a launch from Syria and even down southeast or southwest Syria, close to the Golan Heights, that is, you're measured in small number of minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, until that missile is in northern Israel. It's almost impossible to defend against. So you have to preemptively strike their nuclear facilities and missile assembly areas and storage areas, if you're Israel, to try to keep them from killing you. It's not like maybe they will. Israel 2 or 3 years ago, when Netanyahu was the prime minister, got a lot of data, intelligence, captured a lot of it from Iran, showing their plans to take out Israel with a nuclear strike. So it's not an accident, and not a guess. They are planning to do it. So I support Israel trying to defend itself.
Yeah.
It's like the United States. They've got their problems with people running that place that don't belong there.
I'm going to read an article to you. It just came out this year. It's from the European Union that rolled this out. Gender-neutral language in the European Parliament. And the headline is, EU moves to outlaw phrases such as man-made, manpower, and mankind in favor of gender-neutral terms under the new politically correct guidelines for translators. Okay? I'll read part of the article to you. The European Union has moved to suppress everyday phrases such as manpower, mankind, and replace them with gender-neutral terms. Staff in Strasbourg have been told to reduce references to women or men in a new rule book called Gender Neutral Language in the European Parliament. Now, I'm going to scan down here. I'm not going to bore you with all of this, but it's very important what you're seeing. Here we go, right here. It also recommends the word stewardess by avoiding preference of flight attendant. Here's the kicker. Humanity should replace mankind, and man-made should be substituted for synthetic or artificial. I hope you're understanding that on a deeper level, what's being told to us and how they're putting this out, programming. The man-made replace artificial. Sounds, just like a term or that somebody's writing, but it's deeper than that. Is understanding what humanity is about and who we are as mankind. And it's not about this divide and conquer thing that they're trying to push, and man against woman, black against white, all of that stuff. Now, this is to prepare you for transhumanism. You will be referred to as an it, artificial it, no he, no she, we're just its. And you can put whatever you want into your body, your role, you can play any role that you want, you can become a woman in a man's body, you can become a man in a woman's body, all of that stuff. Transgender is part of the B and C step, or the next step to get to transhuman. You have transgender, then transhuman. That is what is being put forth. And also, the Celine Dion commercial is gender neutral, doing away with the old world and ready for the New World Order. I hope you understand that, and I'm going to break it down for you. Most of you are probably familiar with the Celine Dion clothing line that she rolled out in 2018, New. But for you who are new and have not seen anything on it, this is a clothing line that was rolled out by Celine Dion. But the logo tells you a lot. It is a sheep with one eye. And the followers of Christ are sheep. That is mocking the followers. Some may disagree with that. But the sheep with the one eye, what is the symbolism behind it? Is changing the children of God into something else. It is no accident. Look at this one picture. 33. 3 on one shirt, 3 on the other. Direct reference to when Christ was crucified at age 33. Also, Freemasons symbolism is black and white, dark and light, mixing together good and evil. The one eye symbolism on the pants. See, they do not believe in Christ is the light. They believe Lucifer is the light. And what I've shared many times, and I've shared this for new people who have not seen my videos, is the secret societies. When I say secret societies, I mean Skull and Bones, Rosicrucians, Illuminati, New World Order, name it whatever you want. It's all the same. As they believe the story, this is what they are taught and led to believe, is in the story of Adam and Eve in the garden, that it wasn't until the old serpent Lucifer showed up on the scene, shared knowledge with man, that freed him from the old creator that had him in bondage. And that one day, through man's intellect and knowledge, they could become their own gods. That's what they believe. That's not what I believe. That's what they believe. And this is why they put things in motion, propaganda in your face, and also to communicate with other people around the world that are in these secret societies that are communicating this agenda right here. This is just one piece of it, just a very small piece of it. Notice that the new, that is, the N and the U look the same. It's just a matter of you invert them up or invert them down. So as above, so below. As above, so below. As above, so below. Also referring to the New World Order. Old World, New World. That's part of her clothing line and her website as well. But something deeper into this is when we get into the video, I got to tell you some things, is the prophecy that is moving forth, whether you believe in the prophecy of the Holy Bible or the Christian Bible, I'm just telling you what they believe is they believe in a resurrected Roman Empire in the end times. And Celine Dion drives up in a Cadillac, and notice the Cadillac emblem and logo has the Roman wreath around the logo. It's no accident that she drives up in a Cadillac. Also, the founder of Cadillac, Antonio de la Motte Cadillac, is French. He came from France. He is a Frenchman. Celine Dion is a French Canadian. A couple of first albums, it's in French. There's a reason things are picked and put in place in this simple little commercial. Is also notice when she drives up, her hair is up, and the clothing she is wearing is light or white. So when she walks into the hospital, her hair is down and she is dark clothing. As above, hair up, hair down, so below. It is a mixing of as above, so below, magic. The other things that are on the clothing line is skull and bones. You have skulls all over these. I mean, just common sense. Why would you want to put skulls all over your child's clothing? You know, I mean, it's just crazy. But skull and bones is a direct reference to another secret society, which is called Skull and Bones. Secret number 322, which George Bush is a member of, and John Kerry and many other high-ranking officials. The 322, what does that mean? And I'll go deeper into that, but just look up Genesis 3:22, and it pretty much tells you what the agenda is. You know, Genesis 3:22 reads as this, and I'm reading the King James Version. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil, and now lest he put forth his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live forever. Basically, what it is saying is man must not be allowed to live forever with this knowledge. It's not supposed to be this way. And that is what they are attempting to do, is what I've been talking about for years and years, is living forever in a ungodly way. So on the screen, you're looking at The Secret of 322, Skull and Bones. I put this up in 2007 on my website. So it's been there that long. I have a page dedicated to the Mark of the Beast and The Secret of 322. And on the left, you see the double duplex helix DNA. Every man and woman born the correct way has double helix DNA. That includes 44 base pairs, or 44 autosomes, what you call them. The 45th and 46 are an X and a Y, which determine the sex of a human being. So that the makeup of a human being now is 46 chromosomes total, but base pairs is what we're dealing with. On the right is what they're trying to do, the elite are trying to do, is develop and add another 22 strands of nanotechnology to the double helix to form a triple helix, to be controlled right through the middle of that double helix DNA. They want to add that. So also, to get to 666, you have to calculate it and count it. Every scripture revolving around the mark of the beast has to be calculated, has to be counted, and it says, let the reader understand. So it's not going to be just a 666 stamp on a t-shirt somewhere or on an RFID chip. It's way deeper than that, of what I'm talking and what I'm showing you, is you have to calculate. So 322, and I've told you how the elites do math. They look at things differently. They're taught things differently with numbers, symbols, all of that. 322. 3 times 22 is 66. 6 times 6, 36. 3 sixes, 36. 3 6. 666. That's it. You have to calculate it. You have to count it. And this is the abomination that's put in the temple. Once you figure out where the temple is, it's not a building over in Israel. God does not dwell in a physical building. That is scriptural, Christians, or anybody. If you understand that about the Creator, we are the temple. And once you understand what the enemy is up to and they're after, then it all comes together of why the chemtrails in the sky, why genetically modified food. Everything that they're doing is killing us slowly, making us obsolete, an obsolete man. That's the whole purpose behind this documentary that I'm putting together and have been doing since 2007. And let me read this scripture to you and listen to the scripture now, knowing some of the things I've shared with you about the technology. So let me read this, Matthew 24:16. So when you see standing in the holy place, where's the holy place? That's the key. Where's the holy place? Is it a building? Is it somewhere? No. We are the holy place. We are the temple. So when you see standing in the holy place, the abomination of desolation. Desolation means it cannot dwell there anymore. It can't go there. Described by the prophet Daniel. Notice it says, let the reader understand. So this means it's not going to be that easy. It's let the reader understand what the prophet Daniel said about this right here. So let's go to Daniel 2:4-3. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Notice that. something is mixing with men. So whatever's mixing is not man-made. Okay? So iron, I've said this before, followed me for years. Iron is technology. Clay is from God. Clay, flesh. Iron and clay. There's a kingdom coming that will not cleave together. Alright? That's the key. See, some of these illusions, it's hard for people to believe them because they just can't wrap their heads around that conspiracy theories are not theories anymore. I'm going to share something with you and then you decide. And I'll connect the dots and you tell me if it's just a coincidence. Look up adrenochrome. Adrenochrome, ADRENOCHROME. It's an hallucinant drug suspected to have been used in Project MK Ultra. Does that sound familiar to any of you? Mind control for years and years out there. This drug is the basis of what they use for mind control. It's also hypothesized to play a role in the development of schizophrenia in adults, multiple personalities. Okay? Now, let me connect the dot. Did you know in 2008, Google, they rolled out Chrome, their browser. But then later, 2009, they purchased the GPU, which is the graphics processing unit, and they renamed it Adreno. So put that together. Their CPUs that they're using in their machines are the GPU, Adreno, and their browser is Chrome. Adreno Chrome. You think that's a coincidence? Mind control. Things that they recommend, things they send out to you, whatever. It's a form of mind control. Adrenochrome.
What if I told you I could offer you something that would enable you to walk again? I call it STEM, a computer chip that has the potential to change everything. It's a new, better brain.
I am STEM, the system operating your body for you.
Can anybody else hear you?
No, only you. May I point something out? In the drone surveillance footage, Sir Brantner, Marine Corps, address 414 Citrus, Newground. You'll need a plan.
I got this.
This doesn't seem like a well thought out plan. I need your permission to operate independently.
Permission granted!
Thank you.
Well, there you go. There is a trailer from 2018 of a movie called Upgrade. It's the same old thing repeated. A promise to live forever, but in the end, it's all about control. It's all around us, asking us to upgrade, move forward. It's keep your eyes open.
You've been under investigation, Mr. Wordsworth. You're found to be obsolete. The purpose of this hearing is to make a finding in the matter and make a sentence accordingly. Do you understand that?
I understand that.
Your occupation?
A librarian.
What? A librarian. Since there are no more books, Mr. Wordsworth, there are no more libraries. The field investigators in your sector have classified you as obsolete.
There soon may be a time when the robots come alive and the unavoidable battle of flesh and metal will arrive. When the computers made to serve us suddenly become aware through demonic-like possession that's been programmed and prepared to replace belief in God with a mechanical device that can change its shape and make a face just like the Antichrist. It's the evilest incarnation that promises transformation, the technological abomination that causes desolation. It's been prophesied to come alive. We've known it throughout time, from the book of Daniel to every sci-fi movie storyline. It's a collision course, and yes, of course, we've set our course to fail. It's an imminent conclusion in the making. Every detail has been analyzed and advertised and televised to see, to synthesize and mechanize mankind bionically as our rights and freedoms crumble and our liberties deplete. How long before they pull our plug and make us obsolete?
There is no God. The state has proven that there is no God.
You cannot erase God with an edict.
You are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Lie. No man is obsolete.
You have no function. You're an anachronism, like a ghost. from another time.
I am nothing more than a reminder to you that you cannot destroy truth by burning pages.
You're a bug with a crawling insect. An ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
We may pretend we're in control, that we're still behind the wheel, but soon they'll take that too with the driverless automobile. And it will absolutely seem crazy to kids in future times that we actually could drive our cars and that it wasn't a crime. That once there was a day we weren't controlled by the machines. In the past when things were crafted by the hands of human beings, when patience was a virtue and quality was key, and the products we created were artistic and unique. In the age when books were digital and libraries were real, and the things we own were in the cloud but in our hands to feel. When photographs had solid mass and music was on vinyl, and people made the most of things before the word recycle. If something broke, you'd fix it, and there were parts you could replace, and the things you couldn't find or afford, then you would make. You were guaranteed a warranty without terms or conditions, and a monthly contract wasn't needed, and nor was a subscription.
I am a human being.
You're a librarian, Mr. Wordsworth.
I don't care. I tell you, I don't care. I'm a human being. I exist. And if I speak one thought aloud, that thought lives, even after I'm shoveled into my grave.
Illusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Illusions that you inject into your veins with printer's ink. The narcotics that you call literature. The Bible. You have nothing but spindly limbs and a dream. And the state has no use for your kind. You are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
A lie. No man is obsolete.